My goal is to motivate others. You see, I have two goals in my life as a philanthropist: to motivate young people to pursue their dream and motivate other benefactors, other people to give. And to give with warm hands, not with cold hands after passing.
Come sei bella, più bella stasera, Maria.
Maria Manetti Shrem is a San Francisco-based philanthropist who has been supporting talents with an extraordinary commitment over the past 40 years to making this a better world, bringing a tremendous impact in the fields of music, education, fine arts, and medicine.
Firenze stanotte sei bella in un manto di stelle.
Maria was born in Florence, the day the dictator of Italy, Mussolini, declared war against France and Great Britain. She reminisces about those tragic days of war, having also miraculously survived a mine explosion while playing in the courtyard before the eyes of her mother, Tosca, and her father, Alberto Luigi. A Sicilian in-law, Zio Marcello, and her marvelous Zia Bruna, who recognized Maria's hidden talents, convinced the family to let the brilliant young lady study and receive a proper education. Her life-changing person was her private tutor, Maestra Flora. At 15, Maria fell in love with opera, listening to Renata Tebaldi in La Bohème at Il Teatro del Maggio Musicale Fiorentino. When Mr. Edward de George, an Italian-American gentleman, asked Maria's mother for her daughter's hand, Mrs. Tosca, hearing about the 25-year age gap, replied, "I'm not worried about my daughter, I'm worried about you." Hence, the blessings to their marriage. The glorious sunrise of the booming 60s had just begun, and the glamorous days of La Dolce Vita lifestyle were in full force all over Italy. The so-called made-in-Italy fashion industry was blossoming after the magnificent inaugural shows of the 1950s in the opulent Sala Bianca at Palazzo Pitti in Florence. The newly married couple established their own fashion company and quickly became very successful, employing hundreds of workers. Maria was in her mid-20s, leading the company at an international scale, traveling with her husband back and forth between Italy and the US, boarding their car on a transatlantic ship to cross the ocean with the American dream, driving coast to coast from New York City to San Francisco to boost their fashion distribution throughout the United States.
Just like birds of a feather.
The first time Maria saw San Francisco in 1961, she said, "I love this city so much that I would consider leaving Florence for only one other city in the world, San Francisco." A decade later, in 1972, Maria's prophetic declaration of love for San Francisco returned as the big wave of her life, rising from her heart like un fiume in piena, a river in full flood.
Dear San Francisco.
Dear San Francisco, the first time I saw you, it was 1961. I knew you would be the only city in the world I could ever leave my beloved Florence for. In 1972, I took a gigantic leap of faith. I left everything behind to start a new life in the Bay Area. I was following my heart. I preferred the uncertainty of happiness to the certainty of unhappiness. Half a century later, I am still here and more in love with you than ever. Signed, Maria Manetti Shrem. Oh my God.
As it is true that no one is immune to Cupid's bow, out of the blue Maria fell in love in Florence with a young Californian, Stephen Farrow, an architecture student from Berkeley that she hailed as the love of my life. She decided to leave her homeland, separate from her first husband, accept the loss of the fortune that she had created, and risk big to eventually fulfill her own dreams. So she moved to America, eager to experience her California dreaming, as the summer of love reverberated around the Bay Area. She took a leap of faith, moving from the Chianti Hills to the Berkeley Hills, leaving her comfort zone of a family, a successful company, a luxurious villa in Tuscany, to start her life over from scratch, in a commune house, cooking her ossobuco on an electric stove, draining spaghetti in the bathroom, and washing dishes in the bathtub. But finally, she felt alive and the protagonist of her own life. She preferred the uncertainty of happiness to the certainty of unhappiness. Maria started working at Joseph Magnin's specialty store as an executive trainee for $3.15 an hour. Every morning she had to jump from the kitchen window of their house in Berkeley, put on her heels, and run into the city, determined to build a new life. Incipit vita nova, a new life had sprung. Quickly, she moved up the organizational ladder, first becoming Gucci boutique manager, later associate buyer for Gucci, and eventually director of the Gucci franchise at Joseph Magnin. Sooner than expected, she realized she'd hit a glass ceiling, and it was clear that it was time to quit the job and establish her own company, Manetti Farrow. Maria's art of self-invention was hitting the ground, galloping across America. Maria designed a brand new distribution system to internationalize Italy's luxury fashion brands, and eventually she even convinced Aldo Gucci to sign an exclusive agreement for Gucci's accessories in the United States. In the following years, Gucci exponentially hit the global market. Internationally renowned designer Richard Tam recognized the sacred fire of love in the brilliant, passionate, and sophisticated couple of Maria and Stephen. He took them under his wing, introducing them into the high society of San Francisco. The quintessential flair of Italy was born in America.
I left my heart.
But one day, the love of Maria's life left. The couple was burnt out by their hyper-intense work together. The Gucci family saga had impacted their business. Their marriage was over. Maria's heart was broken and aching in an incurable pain for over 6 years. Life is unpredictable, though, with blessings in disguise if you don't give up. Maria was able to sell her company. She turned to Buddhism to heal and reinvent herself once again. She started traveling the world with her beloved friends, Margaret and Robert Mondavi, to learn about winemaking techniques, multicultural worlds, contemporary art, and philanthropy. In the third part of her life, Maria's unrivaled devotion is to artists. She takes care of them like family, giving them her time, her presence, her love. In 2012, together with her third husband, Jan Shrem, a peerlessly wise publisher, extremely refined art collector, and founder of America's first monument to wine, Clopagas Winery in Napa Valley, they joined forces to support over 45 charitable programs in the United States, Italy, the UK, France, and Mexico, making a substantial cultural impact on society and creating opportunities for a vast pool of talents to help people in need. In 2019, the President of Italy, Sergio Mattarella, bestowed upon her the title of Grand Officer of the Order of the Star of Italy, in recognition of her inspiring philanthropic activity to strengthen the relationships between Italy and America. In March 2022, Maria was awarded by the Mayor of Florence, Dario Nardella, the highest honor of the Keys of the City, defining her as the new Elettrice Palatina, the last heiress of the Florentine Renaissance Medici family.
Le chiavi della città a Maria Manetti Shrem.
The mayor of the city and county of San Francisco, London Breed, proclaimed June 22nd Manetti Shrem Day, dedicated to fostering philanthropy. On December the 3rd, 2022, during a celebratory event organized by San Francisco Opera and San Francisco Symphony, Maria, 50 Years in America. The San Francisco City Hall Rotunda was lit up in the colors of the Italian flag to honor Maria's unparalleled philanthropic activity. At the end of the last performance of La Traviata, Maria Manetti Shrem was honored by San Francisco Opera with the highest community recognition, the Spirit of the Opera Award, presented to her on stage, where she bowed hand in hand with the artists before 3,000 patrons. In recognition of the extraordinary contributions that embody UC Davis's vision, Maria is now the recipient of the 2023 UC Davis Medal, being in company with her beloved fellow philanthropists Robert and Margaret Mondavi, 2020 Nobel laureate Charles Rice, artist Wayne Thiebaud, and former President Bill Clinton. And now, what's next around the corner? The sky's the limit with Maria. Truly, a life bigger than dreams.
Don't know what to cook and do. Hey, mambo!
Mambo italiano, hey mambo, mambo italiano.
L'ha fatta te?
You get happy in the pizza when
Just like birds of feathers.
Ok Maria!
Non lì!
No! Uno, due e tre,
No wonder my happy heart sings. Your love has given me wings. Penso che io sogno così non ritorni mai più. Mi dipinge con le mani e la faccia di blu.